The Russian twist is a very effective, very popular exercise in the calisthenics universe, but it's also very misunderstood. Now, the more popular method is to use some sort of a weighted implement, sit fairly upright, and oftentimes either touching the floor or twisting back and forth like so. Now, this isn't a terrible thing, but it has a couple of hiccups to it. Number one, you of course don't have resistance moving along circumventral planes. So the more upright you are, the more weight you need to generate any kind of resistance. Plus, you're getting most of the work from just changing direction. You're not actually moving your weight against the force of gravity. I've also come across the idea from several chiropractor and physical therapist friends of mine suggesting that holding on to any kind of weight, more than even 4 or 5 pounds, and twisting may not be the healthiest thing for your back and lumbar spine. This is why I'm a much bigger fan of using technical progression instead of weighted progression, especially for the Russian twist. There's 2 ways you can do this. The first is the amount of recline that you have in your torso. You may need to weight something a little bit on your legs in order to make this happen to an extreme, but the more you recline back, the more your movements are going to be moving directly more against the pull of gravity. The second mode of resistance is leverage element by extending the arms outwards. So keeping things in tight is easier. Extending the arms outwards makes things a lot more difficult. Plus, you're also enhancing the amount of mobility and control you have at the extremes of your range of motion. And then finally, you have the speed. Sometimes it's fashionable to move fairly quick, which can be very good for explosive, quick movements. But if you're like me and you like to get that grind style effect and you're trying to build the muscle and strength, get that resistance really high and hold and take your time with it to get a lot more tension flooding into the muscles and make them really overload with less repetitions. You can also do a suspension trainer style of the Russian twist, grind style Russian twist, placing your hands down and pressing into the handles rather than trying to pull. You're pushing and pressing down, lean back a bit, and then you keep that pressure as you swing from side to side. Once again, increasing the resistance by how much range you have and how hard you're pressing down into each handle. Keeping it in a smooth motion with a solid pause on each point. Be sure to check down below in the description section if you're here on YouTube for a Russian twist core workout that I left there for you. Also comments and questions down in the RDP community as well. Talk to you guys next week. Till then, be fit, live free.